All right, 1:14. Well, we're a little minute early. That's okay, right? Yeah, it's totally fine. Okay, I'm starting my timer because I'm trying to keep these to 15 minutes or under. Welcome to this week's Tuesday Live. I am Luca Simmons. I am your holistic nutrition practitioner here in Calgary, and we are talking about mood all month long. We've been talking about the ways that holistic nutrition can best support you to balance moods, to help support through anxiety perhaps, or to help with emotional resilience. You know, this is quite a topic to undertake in 1 month's time in these brief little pockets of things that we're able to talk about. But it's really just to give you a taste test of what kinds of things I'm able to help you with. And what are some of those pieces that you can put in place for yourself to better understand maybe what's contributing, what's happening, and that sort of scenario. Now, I'm not able to see any of your questions as we go through these things. Oh, can I? Wait, does this do it? No. Nope. Okay, that's cool. Yes, and so this is what's going on today. We are talking, oh, there we go. Okay, so I can see comments. So if you do want to pop some comments below, you have questions as we go through, please do comment below and then we'll get to those questions if we can. And even if we are not able to do it live and you're asking these questions afterwards, all the better. We'll get all of these things done for you in time. Now, we've got lots of things to talk about here. We've got the role of pre and probiotics. So first I want to clarify what's the difference between pre and probiotics, because there's a bit. Hi, Chalet. So prebiotics, no, it's, well, I suppose all words are made up. I was going to say it's not a made up word. Well, they all are, aren't they? But prebiotics really talks about the foods that probiotics consume. So before we get into what are prebiotics, why don't we talk about what probiotics are? So everybody has a collection of bacteria at the gut, and it is on average 4 to 6 pounds in the average adult of things living in your gut. Now, you have more bacteria on and in your body than there are people in the world. In fact, there's more bacteria on the surface of your hand than there are people in the world. So just to give you an idea of kind of the magnitude of this whole other life form that happens on your body. So these probiotics are made up of bacteria, fungi, yeasts, viruses, believe it or not. So all of these things live in different areas of the body, and the probiotics are your microbiome is what we're talking about. Your microbiome, or the microbiota, which are the small lives, is how you translate that directly. They live on your skin. They live inside of crevices, in your ears and your eyes. And you know, the microbiota that lives in your eyes is very different from the microbiota that's living on your elbow, because that's a dry terrain. It's very different than the microbiota that's living in your private parts. Yes, everybody has a microbiota living up and in there in their crevices. Yes, you're supposed to. This is not an invitation to drink sanitizer. Nuh-uh. No. You want to keep these guys happy, balanced, and working with you. This is the secret. We're working together for a common goal of life. So probiotics are that collection of bacteria, fungi, yeast, viruses, whatever, that are populating these different areas. Now, the stuff that we're talking about today is really zeroing in on the probiotics, or the microbiota, or microbiome, it all kind of means the same thing, that are living in your intestinal tract, especially when we're talking about mood. And there's a reason for that. There's a totally good reason for it. These bacteria, virus, yeast, whatever, all these things that are living at the gut level have a really big say in how you feel and how you move through the day, how your emotional resilience is. Here's why. Those probiotics, these bacteria that live in your gut, work with endocrine cells, so cells from your glandular system that line your intestinal tract, and they make 90% of your serotonin in your gut. In fact, in the tail end of your gut. We talked about that last week. So these probiotics, these bacteria that are living in your inner world, in that intestinal tract, are busy making serotonin. And they make serotonin out of a couple of different ingredients. Tryptophan is one of them, which is an amino acid, and it's why we talked about tryptophan last week. in the Tuesday Live, which you can peruse back through the Facebook page, get access to it, or IGTV if you're watching this on Instagram. So these probiotics are needed for the making of your serotonin. These probiotics also have a say on your enteric nervous system. So what the probiotics end up doing, we will get to prebiotics, don't worry. What the probiotics end up doing is they communicate with your enteric nervous system, which is kind of your second brain. Not kind of, it totally is your second brain. Your enteric nervous system lives in your intestinal tract and lives in the gut. So when they talk about gut feeling, that is your enteric nervous system. You are a magnificent orchestra, symphony, whatever you want to call it. Like, you are just so well made. The reason we have this enteric nervous system, it is a communication piece that happens between the gut and the brain. And your gut is where you most closely interact with the outside world. So through that microbiome, through what's happening at the gut level, now your body and your brain, which is trying to figure out if you're in danger to keep you safe, the brain is taking information from the enteric nervous system that's being gathered, and that is being gathered with the help of your microbiome. And those signals and messages are coming up to the brain through that gut-brain axis, it's called, which is just a communication highway. It's like the vagus nerve. It's called the vagus nerve, actually. And it connects your brain to your enteric nervous system. That communication pathway goes both ways and tells the brain, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, we have a red alert over here, everything looks pretty hunky-dory over there. And it's a constant communication going on. So that gut-brain axis is really governed and highlighted, like the importance of it is done through your microbiome. Your microbiome has a really big part to play in relaying any messages or keeping things in check at that gut level so that we're not sending panic signals all the time up to the brain. People who struggle with, this is interesting, I was just doing research on this, people who struggle with IBS, especially IBS, there is a really high correlation between IBS and mood or anxiety troubles. Do you know why? Because it's the same thing. They're both acting in the two brains. The imbalances are having that impact on both the first brain and your enteric nervous system, that second brain living in the gut. So the medication that you are often given for things like IBS, they can have an impact as well on your mood, which is so curious. Well, one of the pieces in regulating this conversation back and forth and helping to quell some of those gut pieces that aren't doing so great is to really start mining a happy microbiome. So when you consume probiotic-rich foods, these probiotics help enhance what's happening at the gut level. They help to really keep a happy microbiome. They're very transient. They don't stick around for very long. So the idea here is to actually have probiotic-rich foods or supplements on a regular basis in order to mine this happy connection that's going on. Like, that's really important. And that is one of the roles that the probiotics will do when we're talking about mood balancing and anxiety balancing. Another piece to it is that these bugs at the gut help to make your serotonin. And often when people are struggling with mood things or anxiety, their serotonin levels are quite low. And that's one of the telltale hallmark ways to tell that somebody's got a mood troubles, right? So the serotonin production happens at the gut level. So before we do anything else, I think it would warrant good value to look at what's happening at the gut and to really do a concentrated gut support piece to help make your microbiome a bit happier, to help ease things at the gut level to reduce that inflammation so that your microbiome can be a bit happier. Probiotics help to keep a really happy gut. A lot of meat stock or collagen or gelatin will help to mine a happy microbiome. Butter is a really great ally to help mine that happy microbiome. And prebiotics help look after the probiotics. Prebiotics are just the food of the probiotics. They're the stuff that I almost swore. They are the things that love to eat the good food. The good food is for the probiotics. So prebiotics is not just a fancy term. I mean, you can go to a health food store and seek out some prebiotics that are really tailored to whatever health concern you've got going on. And sure, I can help you do that. But do you want to know a secret? Do you want to know what prebiotics really are? Prebiotics are food. You can make it complicated if you want. Or you can eat real food. Yeah. So one of the things when somebody is coming to see me, one-on-one clients, and we're talking about mood stuff or anxiety or emotional resiliency, oh, hey, hi, how's your gut doing? Are you eating fermented foods? Oh, can you not tolerate them? Let's get you to a stage where you can tolerate fermented foods first off. Second of all, let's also support your gut lining so that the probiotics that you're consuming and your microbiome that's currently living there can actually thrive instead of struggle. Let's reduce the struggle, guys. Oh my gosh, and let's do it through delicious food. That's a great idea. One of the best indicators on one of the best key indicators to aim for when you're looking at probiotics or the microbiome is you want diversity. And one of the issues in 2020 is that we're really narrowing the diversity of our microbiome due to so many different factors. It doesn't matter why. That's a 27-hour conversation. But we are really limiting what our microbiome is doing. Okay? We're really limiting the variety of strains in our microbiome. When you introduce fermented foods, you're starting to bring a little bit more variety. Again, they're really transient, so it has to be kind of all the time. So one of your tips in looking to pre and probiotics is you want to start increasing diversity. So different strains. So if you're eating fermented foods, I encourage you to start really branching out. Don't just stick to kombucha because you just love kombucha. You need to start introducing others. And as time goes on, your taste buds will change. This is one of the secrets. It's fascinating. You may not like stuff at first because whatever's living in your gut is putting up a fight saying, no, I don't like that. Don't eat that because I want to stick around. But as you start to introduce those fermented foods, those guys start to get crowded out and can't survive in your new gut environment that you've been working at. What? And then you drink the sauerkraut and you're like, why is this so absolutely delicious? I didn't like it before. The sauerkraut brine. And then all of a sudden you do. Yeah. Diversity is key. One of the secrets to enhancing diversity in the strains and the different kinds of probiotics that you have living in your microbiome, one of the keys to that is to eat a variety of foods, plant-based foods, particularly. So you can purchase specific prebiotics, but I'll tell you, it wasn't until 10 years ago that anybody was starting to take pill versions of prebiotics. Do you know what they did? They ate real food. Oh my God, Luca, again with the real food. I know. It's always going to come back to real food. So if you're struggling with real food and what that can look like, it's really a bag of 3 different kinds of frozen vegetables tossed in water for 3 minutes till they cook, and then drain the water and toss them with butter, and that's a side at dinner. Now you've got 3 vegetables under your belt. If you added garlic to the chicken you were roasting in the oven, that's another vegetable. If you're starting to add in mushrooms to your eggs in the morning, now you've added yet another kind of vegetable. So variety over the course of the week in your plant foods is how you're going to do it through real food to do the prebiotics piece, and fermented foods is how you're going to get at it from the probiotics piece of work in relation to fermented foods, probiotics, right? That's where you start. And those 2 pieces are some of the work to get at balancing those moods, supporting you through anxiety, and really building on that emotional resiliency. It takes work. It takes dedication. I have tips and tricks and plans and online group coaching that starts next week, where we're doing a 2-week intensive on the gut. We're actually touching on how to introduce pre and probiotics in this whole online course. So keep checking into the pages here. I'll drop after I've finished the video. 14 minutes are up. I'll drop in the comments below a direct link to get your name on the wait list so that you're able to get in on this group online coaching thing that starts up on Monday, the 25th of May. That's it, friends. Thanks for tuning in. This has been yet another Tuesday Live from your favorite holistic nutrition practitioner, Luca Simmons. Take care, everybody. Go eat some diverse foods. Bye.